Have you heard of the Reading indie band British Sea Power? I'm not surprised if not. In a career that's been running since 2001, their highest charting single, It Ended on an Oily Stage, made it to number 18 on the singles chart. And the 9 songs they've released in the past decade have failed to chart whatsoever. So this band is certainly no Rolling Stones or Coldplay or Keane, but they've been a music industry fixture for some time. And today, these lefty losers have hit the headlines for all the wrong reasons. British Sea Power no longer want to be British. From this moment on, they just want to be known as Sea Power. Being British, you see, in the weird world of these musos, is representative of antagonistic nationalism. For me, the decision to change the name is indicative of the toxicity of woke culture running riot through the entertainment industry. In a statement, this is what the Six Piece Band had to say. The name British Sea Power had come to feel constricting, like an ancient legacy we were carrying with us. In recent times, there's been a rise in a certain kind of nationalism in the world, an isolationist, antagonistic nationalism that we don't want to run any risk of being confused with. It's become apparent that it's possible to misapprehend the name British Sea Power. We always wanted to be an internationalist band, but maybe having a specific nation state in our name wasn't the cleverest way to demonstrate that. Have you ever heard such ludicrous, self-serving nonsense? There's nothing negative about being proud of being British. Being British is something to celebrate, especially when it comes to the music industry, where we're the envy of the world. So if pop stars and entertainers keep going down this disturbing path of slagging off their own country, they will rightly lose popularity. While they remain so embarrassed about being British, Sea Power will never have another number 18 hit again. It's been 630 days since Prince Andrew vowed to cooperate with the relevant authorities in regards to his close relationship with the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein, if required. Well, it's not only now required, it's the only way Randy Andy will go down as anything other than a pariah, a royal embarrassment of unfathomable proportions. Overnight, his accuser Virginia Roberts filed a civil suit in the federal court in New York seeking substantial damages, alleging she was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew on 3 occasions in 2001 when she was 17. Prince Andrew has always strongly denied any sexual contact with Roberts. But she said in a statement to ABC News, "I am holding Prince Andrew accountable for what he did to me. The powerful and the rich are not exempt from being held responsible for their actions. I hope that other victims will see that it is possible not to live in silence and fear, but one can reclaim her life by speaking out and demanding justice. I did not come to this decision lightly. As a mother and a wife, my family comes first. I know that this action will subject me to further attacks by Prince Andrew and his surrogates. But I knew that if I did not pursue this action, I would be letting them and victims everywhere down." Prince Andrew can try and pretend this lawsuit in New York has not been filed. He can hide away in his 30-room Royal Lodge mansion, yet another gift from Mummy at Windsor. He can accept he will never return to the US again and be forever damned by the disturbing allegations. The world will be watching. If the Duke has nothing to hide, he will fight this case. If he doesn't fight this case and remains mum, he will have to hide for the rest of his life while causing astronomical reputational damage to the royal family. Moving on, have you noticed that the leader of no opposition, Keir Starmer, has become so desperate for a cheap headline, he'll say virtually anything? Case in point today is him ludicrously branding Boris Johnson a climate delayer because he reckons the UK is not moving fast enough. Starmer said the biggest threat we now face is not climate denial, but climate delay. Those who, like our Prime Minister, acknowledge there is a problem but simply don't have the scale of ambition required to match the moment. Our communities and planet can no longer afford the inaction of this government, who are failing to treat the crisis with the seriousness it deserves. I'd love to know how he came to that conclusion. The problem isn't the UK, Mr. Starmer. The problem is China and India and Germany and Canada and the USA. We are leading the developed world on cutting carbon emissions at a great cost to our economy. Starmer would do better actually asking how working class folk are going to be able to afford to replace their boilers with £14,000 air pumps and their diesel or petrol cars with electric vehicles. The pingdemic has just claimed another victim. The entire West End production of Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat has been forced to shut down after just 2 weeks because of one positive COVID case among the production. Yep, that's right. Just one. Original Joseph Jason Donovan, who is now playing Pharaoh, posted on Instagram, "We're all gutted." No wonder. Multi-million-pound productions of Cinderella, The Prince of Egypt and Hairspray have also been forced to shut down. The pingdemic is destroying the return of the West End. And that's my view of the world today, but I'm sure some of my superstar panel will think differently, and they'll let me have it in 1 minute. But before that, let me tell you what's also coming up.